Oh, I just moved this book out of the way and there was a hidden book back there. This is everything I want to unhaul. I think we've got this book in the wrong video. Hello friends, the sun is about to be setting on some of these books. Let me tell you, the things you're about to see in this video, they need to hide their eyes. Hide this from your book's eyes. I do want to say I started filming this episode about a month ago now. We had some hurdles to getting this out to you, but we cleared them. We jumped over them like a beautiful, strong, noble steed. We jumped the hurdles and we're here. If this is your first time here, you can visit this playlist if you want, or you can stick around. This series for me has taken on a little bit of a new meaning this year, a new goal, because I want to read really good books this year. I'm not saying that the series was maybe a little bit responsible last year for me reading such a high number of mediocre / trash books, but maybe it was a little bit. This year, our goals for the series, be more cutthroat than ever. Also, find gems. Like, I do want part of the series to allow me to pick up books that I would have probably just kept pushing along the railroad of my life. Last year, you guys know that I combined this challenge with my book buying ban, because we had a stack, basically. We had a stack of books that I bought last year when I was supposed to be a little bit on a book buying ban, and in order to put one of those books that I bought last year back on my shelf, I would have to take something off of the shelf. This year, we're unshackled, and I want to contribute to the economy. And there is already a book haul coming where I want to talk more in depth about these topics, which I find really fascinating, like, you know, buying, consuming, sourcing books, getting books, reading books, blah, blah, blah. That's all in the book haul. But suffice it to say, for right now, the goal for this year is to buy books that I want to buy, but just be mindful, use my library more. That goal is underway. I've already botched that goal up because, yes, I used my library a lot more end of last year, all of January, and as a consequence, I have about 7 or 8 overdue books sitting there, racking up the fines. Regardless, all of that being said, we still have the stack of books from last year of the book buying ban pile. So this year we're still going to be trying to get those back on the shelf, and because so many of you in the comments were like, please, like, don't totally do away with that aspect of the challenge, I am going to still try to challenge myself to unhaul or rehome a book every time I buy a book, and would like to put it back on the shelf. Mostly, unless, I don't know, I like how this evolves with me. As per usual, you know the drill. It's just a running joke. We always have 13 books in the pile to get back on the shelf, but we do have an adjustment to make because I tried to read one of the books from this pile just thinking like it was probably going to be an easy unhaul, and it was, because it landed in my DNFs and it would have landed in my worst books of last year. Silver Elite by Danny Francis. I got maybe 30 pages through this. Don't waste your time, my friends. I was very conservative with myself at the end of the year, and I only bought one more book since episode 5. Found this at the thrift store, and I just couldn't leave it there. Is Creating the Worlds of Star Wars in 365 Days by John Knoll. This is a beautiful, huge coffee table book, and it takes you throughout the whole year, basically from the prequels to the original trilogy, basically just describing one set or one character or one thing in the movie and just telling you about the movie magic of the Star Wars movies, basically. If you're new here, love me some Star Wars. Oh yeah. This is really fun and I love this, so I had to pick it up. I'm just gonna let the credits roll now. I think you know the drill. This episode is a little bit different because I didn't really want to use the TBR jar, especially because the first 2 books, at least of this episode you're about to see, are very much themed since I was filming this during the lead up to Christmas, the first half of this. I will now turn it over to Emma from literally about a month ago, and you can see what she was up to. I'll put timestamps below. Hi. I wanted to do another like themed read it or yeet it because I know for a fact I will definitely, I I bought myself books for Christmas, okay? So I thought it would be a good idea to try and clear any out, and also I wanted to do one before Christmas because there are at least a few books on my shelf that are winter Christmas themed, and I wanted to read them in here because these are a couple books that I don't know if I'm gonna love, if I'm gonna want to keep once I finish them. So without further ado, let's get started. The sun is going down. It's like that perfect blue out there that like that color only happens in the winter. I just put a little lo-fi on the TV, little Christmas lo-fi, and we're ready to go. So the first book that I picked off of my shelf, I only have two books that I picked for myself in this video, and then the rest we're probably just gonna end up pulling from our jar again. But the first one is the most wonderful crime of the year by Ali Carter. I loved Ali Carter's books when I was a teenager. The one I remember most, I think, is her Heist Society series. Is it just one? I think it's a series. It's a YA series where we follow this teenager who's a spy, and it's about like her. Is it her heisting or her foiling other people's heists? I kind of forget, but I was super addicted to those books as a teenager, and they're super fast-paced, really fun. And so when Book of the Month sent me The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year, I think a year ago now, I was like, ooh, I haven't read Ali Carter as an adult, and this is supposed to be like a Knives Out with a dash of rom-com. I loved Knives Out. The other two movies, I actually just watched Wake Up Dead Man this week. The other two have not lived up to how wonderful I thought the first Knives Out film was, but I did enjoy Wake Up Dead Man. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to having something like this. The reason that it's on this is because I didn't pick it myself. I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy it, and because it's like more of a mystery. I don't know if it's not necessarily a cozy mystery, although one of the characters in this book is a cozy mystery writer. I just don't know if once I'm done it, I'm ever going to want to read it again, type of deal. So I thought we would give this a swing. I've actually already gotten a little bit of the way through, and I'm having a good time. Not gonna lie, I'm having a good time. I wanted to sit down and read more of this, and I was like, Emma, you can't do that until you start this dang vlog. It's a Christmas romance mystery. The bridge is out, the phones are down, and the most famous mystery writer in the world just disappeared out of a locked room 3 days before Christmas. Enter Maggie Chase and Ethan Wyatt. This is basically like if Agatha Christie was alive and she invited you to her home in the remote English countryside, and she's like, hey, never heard of you before, why don't you come join me and my family for Christmas? Totally nothing weird going on at all. But because it's Agatha Christie and she's your favorite writer, or at least for someone in this book, you say, yeah, I'm coming down. And you get there, and then you have dinner with her, it's great, and then you wake up the next morning and she's not around. You're like, Agatha, where have you gone? Agatha, please don't be playing tricks on me, Agatha. I don't really know what like the mystery is, what's happening, what's truly going on in this book. I don't know yet. We do follow two people in here who know each other. So we have Maggie, who is kind of the cozy mystery writer, I guess, on the scene. She's not really up and coming. She's written a few books already. She's quite popular. She's had a hard time. She's recently divorced. Her best friend betrayed her. She's not having a great year, and she's slated to spend Christmas alone until she gets invited by Eleanor, is like the Agatha Christie figure, to go and spend Christmas with the famous writer Eleanor, who has like 99 mystery books out. However, she's not the only American being invited over to England for Christmas. There's also Ethan, who his books are published by the same publisher as Maggie's, and Ethan is like a leather book man writer, is how he's described in here. Like, he writes stuff, I guess, like Dan Brown. Stuff like Dan Brown. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Dan Brown, but yeah, those are the kind of books that he writes, and they don't like each other. They're like not really enemies to lovers or anything like that. It's just like they are managed by the same publishing house and they don't really get along. They quickly team up when they find themselves in, I'm just gonna call her Agatha Christie. I don't know, she's like 80 years old. She's this wonderful character, really enjoy her, and she's definitely Agatha Christie. So they wind up at Agatha's house. They slowly meet like different members of her family. We have like a niece there, a nephew, her lawyer. When Agatha goes missing, everyone's like, what's going on? Very quickly, Margaret, our main character, is like, something else is going on here. Like, she is concerned a little bit for Agatha Christie's safety because it's like also snowed in. The whole manor has been snowed in. There's a snowstorm. You can't get out. The bridge is down. Blah, blah, blah. But she starts thinking that maybe this is all like a test. Maybe this is something that Agatha Christie has designed for them. Maybe it's something that she is supposed to I don't know, prove herself in some way as a mystery writer to Agatha Christie, because maybe she's retiring or something like that. Anyway, things start happening that lets Margaret know that maybe it's not really a test after all. It's not a drill. So that's kind of the point I am right now. I got quite a decent way through. It reads so quickly, guys. This book reads so quickly. The chapters are like 5 pages maximum. Most of them are 2 to 3 pages. Okay, I got to 126. I got to page 126, which is chapter 34. So yeah, it moves along very, 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 very quickly. And like I said, I'm enjoying it. At the minute, I don't want to put it down. I don't want to DNF it, but I also don't really think that maybe it would be something I read again. Like, the atmosphere is not 10 out of 10. It's not that fun. The romance between them, because like they're now working together, like, it's whatever. Very fast paced, and I'm very interested in what's going on, and it's a nice, like, cozy kind of Knives Out-ish moment. So I'm gonna keep reading this. That is our first book of this video. I really want to finish this tonight. Because there's a bunch of books that I would like to read before Christmas. I don't think it's gonna happen, but we can try our darndest. So let's play the music and let's read some Christmas mystery. Good evening. I have finished my hot chocolate and I am now on drink number 3 of this book. How long does this book take to finish? I think it takes you 3 drinks. I think that's it. I started this today and we're just about finished up with The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. So I finished my hot chocolate, which was really good, and now I'm having, I'm even liking this even more, but I'm having some corn silk tea. That's what I'm gonna be drinking to finish this book up. I am 238 pages through The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year, so we're definitely going to be finishing it. I'm really enjoying my time with it. Like, it's just fun. It's not like the best thing ever, but for what it is, I'm just really enjoying my time with it. I think my main complaint is that in terms of solving the mystery that I was talking about, like, where did Agatha Christie go, which I actually read the acknowledgements, and the author mentions that she was inspired to write this because Agatha Christie actually did go missing for a short period of time. I don't know if anyone actually knew where she went or not. I'm gonna have to dig more into this because that's so interesting, but she based this on the premise that Agatha Christie, or the crime writer queen herself, goes missing. But yeah, in terms of the suspects and solving the mystery myself, I don't think there's been enough time or page or description or information given about the other guests. Like, we do know a little bit about each of them, and we do get some time with, like, our 2 main characters debating motives and how suspect they are, but I don't think there's a huge focus on spending time with our other characters. Like, most of the book is just Ethan and Maggie together. That's kind of the whole book, and so we don't really get a lot of time to speculate about what other people are doing, what they're talking about, and we really hardly get any time with our other characters, unfortunately. It definitely delves a lot more into the romance side in the second half of the book, which, like, is fine. The romance is whatever. I'm not, like, writing home about it or anything like that, but I am still enjoying myself, and it's a very, very, very fast read, like I said. I myself have not guessed what the hell is going on. I don't know if I can, because they're staying in Agatha Christie's huge manor house. I keep saying Agatha, it's not Agatha Christie, but you know what I mean. They do get to explore, and they see how big her house is and how cool it is, and there's a lot of nods to like the books that the author Eleanor in this book has written, which would be cool nods to like books that Agatha Christie has written. I think I'm gonna sit down and just finish it up, drink maybe not the rest of my tea, I kind of want to save this a little bit, but definitely finish this up and then decide if I want to yeet it, if I want to read it and yeet it, or read it and keep it. It's actually the next night. I just got back from the gym. It is about to turn Christmas Eve, but it is still Christmas Eve. And I did finish, I'm playing with Kelsfer right now with his wand, finished The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ali Carter. And like, here's the thing, I did have a good time while I was reading it. I'm honestly sad that it's over because I really wanted to enjoy something like this a lot more, something a little better. In the end, I definitely gave it a 3-star. I think as the book got on, it got worse and worse, and the stuff I was mentioning about not spending enough time with suspects or not spending enough time with other characters, because I think this book didn't totally balance the rom-com / cozy murder mystery Christmas thriller. I don't think it really did those in equal measure. I think it went a little bit too hard into the rom-com aspect, and so we missed a lot of the mystery and like murder mystery stuff, and the ending was just kind of for me. So actually bears a lot of similarity to some Agatha Christie works. One in particular it reminded me of the most. I'm not gonna say which one. But yeah, so that is The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year, and I'm honestly just a bit conflicted on whether to keep it. Would I read this again? Maybe in like 50 years? 40 years? I think what I might do right now is just put it aside and think about it for a couple more days, and in the meantime pick up the second book, which I have and which I'm excited to tell you a little bit about. The second book that I picked off of my shelf to read for potentially yeeting is Cinder, Nanny by Sariah Wilson. This one I got thrifted in Nova Scotia a few years ago, and I picked it up because it is snow and winter, and it's actually set at a hotel, so all of my favorite things. Clearly, I was hoping it was going to bring back some of the stuff that I love in A Castle in the Clouds, which is my favorite Christmas book, favorite YA novel probably, I think, and that's what I was hoping with Cinder Nanny. So this might be a doozy. Okay, initial impressions before starting it was that I was like, Emma, this is going to be probably a quick DNF. I don't think you're going to really enjoy it. I think you were just holding on to the threads of snow and hotel and winter. Okay, it says, she's falling in love with royalty. He's falling in love with a fantasy. With her sister's medical bills mounting, Diana Parker can't say no to a high-paying opportunity like this, accompany a wealthy couple to Aspen and nanny their precocious 5-year-old son for 3 months. However, she has to know how to ski, teach math, speak fluent French, and excel at social graces and hold a master's degree in childhood development. So Diana doesn't have any of these things. Lucky for her, her mother was a con woman. So she's kind of grown up learning how to manipulate people, learning a very select set of skills that allows her to get in with this wealthy couple and eventually make her the person that they hire to nanny their 5-year-old son, Milo, for 3 months in Aspen during the winter, even though she doesn't know any of those things. So she's just kind of going to fake her way through this, which I think is a fun premise, but then while she's at the ski resort, she bumps into an earl. Wary of gold diggers and scandal, England's most eligible bachelor is nevertheless falling for Diana. Like I said, I did not have high hopes. However, I am 100 pages in, or thereabouts-ish, and I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would, although here's the thing, I think the romance in this is gonna be the downfall for me. The romance is just like the most insta-love that you have ever seen insta-loving in your life. Okay, they meet, Griffin and Diana, and I just like, I'm so put off by it. I'm so put off by it. This Earl guy just starts acting like he's some like, he kind of starts acting like Ken from Barbie a little bit. Like, just so forward, but like in a very weird way to me that I'm like, this seems like a really weird red flag. It seems like you're trying to manipulate me for some reason. It feels like you're trying to get something out of Diana, like con her into something is the vibe that I'm getting. I don't know, it's just really weird, even though obviously Diana's the one conning him because he doesn't really know she's not who she says she is and stuff. So honestly, what I am liking about this though is just like seeing her at this hotel in Aspen at a ski resort with this 5-year-old kid, Milo, and taking care of him. I really like their dynamic. I really like their relationship. I think Milo is precious. He is a hypochondriac. He's like 5 years old, but he knows so many different diseases. His parents, who are uber rich, have the highest expectations for him. Like, I literally, his schedule is like insane. This poor kid. French at 7:30 a.m. At 8 a.m., this kid has Masters of the Renaissance, 16th century history. Then he has calculus, fractals and patterns, and finally he has more French at 10 a.m. So like they're just putting him through the paces, and he's like not even in kindergarten yet. And I just really like their dynamic because Diana comes in and she's just kind of more chill with him and like relaxed, and I really just like their dynamic. Anyway, the same cannot be said of the actual romance in this book between her and Griffin, because they meet at the hotel, and I kind of wish 100 pages in we were honestly getting more snow and more hotel, because other than it being mentioned like a couple times, it's not really a huge thing. There's just been a few lines that I can't do it. I cannot do it anymore. Like, what is their conversation? Their conversation is so weird. So it's called Cinder Nanny because when they meet, well, she's a nanny and he's a Earl, but when they first meet, she loses her shoe and she says, "Can I have my shoe back?" because he has her shoe. Yes, I've been holding on to this for a long time, haven't I? I hope you don't think I have some sort of foot fetish. I didn't before, but now you're kind of making me question. I also need it back to keep my foot warm. That way, when I stick it in my mouth, it won't be cold. Any other dialogue option, any other one would have done fine. What if I think it's cute when you stick your foot in your mouth? I hadn't ever met a man quite so charming and all around yummy in every way imaginable. Blech. I'm liking some things in this book, but most of it I'm just not liking, and the romance is just extremely off-putting to me. Like, it's really off-putting to me. So I'm gonna try reading a little more of this tonight. I want to make my decision on this honestly tonight, and I'm flying through this. This is so quick to read, so quick to read. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, because tomorrow's Christmas Eve and I don't want to be reading a book I'm not enjoying on Christmas Eve. That's a crime. That's criminal. That's not the Christmas magic we want. So I'm gonna make our final decision on this tonight, no matter how late it gets. That's the plan, okay? That's Cinder Nanny, and we will deliberate on the crime of the year, and we will come back to you on that one. I'm gonna go read. I don't know if I'm gonna talk to you tonight or tomorrow. Hang in there. You guys haven't seen the whole vlog yet, I don't think. How would that? Anyway, but I just am so proud of myself this episode because I've really honed my skill of getting rid of books that don't need to be on my shelf, of clearing them out. I used to hang on to things because I was like, no, what if someone else in my life would ever like to borrow that book off of my bookshelf? Or maybe I do want to give that book a try. No, a possibly mediocre unread book does not deserve my sympathy or my selection this year. And it feels so good, the amount of progress that we've made in this vlog, which you're gonna see, but there are other skills that I would like to hone in 2026. If you watched my best books of 2025 video, you guys know that I really took time last year to branch out into other forms of media. I watched a lot of good movies, TV, listened to a lot more music, played a lot more video games, and there is another area that I would like to make 2026 just be full of, and that area is writing. Just like creative writing. I wrapped up my one grad school course last year, and while I love academic writing, creative writing was where I really started and where I fell in love with writing, where I knew that I wanted to do something with writing, and I need to get back to it in 2026. And I'm currently taking a class on Skillshare all about creative writing. It is hosted by the wonderful writer Roxanne Gay, and this one is actually about personal essays, which I've found out that I really love. This one is called Crafting Personal Essays with Impact, and as you might have guessed, this portion of today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. Honestly, for me, I don't have a problem figuring out what I want to write about this year. I went through a lot last year, that there's a lot there to pick and choose from. Something I've loved so far about Roxanne Gay as the teacher for this one is that she is so inspiring, and she inspires the other members in her course to like be brave and like take that vulnerability and write about it, which I'm really trying to do. Like, that is something I would really like to bring to of course, a piece of writing that I would eventually like to share and put out into the world. When I put something into words, it's a little bit more intimidating because then those words are stuck. You can't take them back. For some reason, when I talk about things in a video, it doesn't seem as daunting as sharing a piece of written work that I've done with you guys. It's something that I'm really just trying to let this course get down in my head for me is to just be truthful with what you've gone through, share your vulnerability, share what you've gone through. The course is also very reaffirming that whatever you're writing about in your personal essay or just creatively in general does not need to be universal. It just can be very specific to you. The project for this class is to complete a personal essay, so I decided that I wanted to write about my experience with healthcare. If you are unfamiliar with this platform, Skillshare does have creative classes taught by world-class creatives like professional illustrators, renowned graphic designers, obviously in this case writers, entrepreneurs, you name it, they've got it on there. Their selection is phenomenal. If you want to pick up a new hobby, an old hobby, if you're also actively trying to avoid just slipping into more brain rotting, you guys know the drill. The first 500 people to use the link in my description or to scan the QR code on screen right here will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So it's actually, in fact, a few days later. I did not catch up with you on Christmas Eve or Christmas or anything like that. I actually got, I don't know if it was just like a cold that lasted a day, but I woke up on Christmas not feeling super well, and then by the next day it had basically kind of just gone away, which I'm very thankful for. So I don't know if I just like fought that off or if it was just like a mini cold. I do have an update because I'll tell you what, I did not spend Christmas Eve or Christmas reading Cinder Nanny. Okay, I'm done. We're done with this one. I'm so out. I'm gonna be eating this. I don't want to read this anymore. It's not a good time. I'm not having fun. I got 170 pages through. I just don't care. I'm really not liking the romance. I wish it just felt more real, but these people do not feel real, and I think this could have been such a cool premise. Again, like I said, like staying at a hotel, it's wintertime, our girl is like undercover, which if you've read Castle in the Clouds, which I am right now, again for like the 4th or 5th time, our main character in Castle in the Clouds kind of goes undercover a little bit in like a fun, quirky way, but this is just like too blah. It's too blah. There's more fun times at the hotel. I was really liking the time we were spending between Milo and Diana, the main character, and like the kid she's babysitting and looking after, because I think their relationship was really special and important. The rest of this, no. So this is gonna be our first yeet of the video. Goodbye. I don't want you around anymore. I'm really sad about this because, yeah, I really wanted to like this. I really wanted to like this, but I do not. So she is going off the bookshelf, which means we get to put something back on the bookshelf. Let's put something back on. I do have her mug with us, so I think we're just gonna pull something out of here. Now that it's after Christmas, I don't really care too much if it's like another Christmassy read, if it's just a random pick, whatever it is, I don't mind. So that's what we have left to pull from. Let's give it a shot. Here we go. How high we go in the dark? Is that what that says? How high we go in the dark? It is like probably a month later now. This vlog has been put on hold because I've once again gotten sick. I have gotten the flu. It's been a little over a week, so I'm still sounding just a little bit nasty, and in the time that we've been away, in the month, I had time to reflect and make a decision. And that decision is that I ultimately feel okay letting The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ellie Carter go. I was like, you know what, am I really gonna read that again? No, it was like enjoyable-ish while I was reading it. Good for the season, a fun thriller-ish for the season, but I don't think I'll be reading this again, so I feel fine parting ways with this, which means that we get to put obviously something back on the shelf. And I did decide to pick another book off of the shelf and not go for the jar. I'm kind of in the mood to not have my life dictated to me by a mug of paper slips. So the book that I picked off of the shelf to try for this challenge for book number 3 is Small Things Like These by Keegan. This one was gifted to me by Carolyn, my bestie over at Carolyn Mary Reads, so thank you so much. I still have her card inside, which is this beautiful little guy. And I picked this up because I was like, am I gonna like this? I don't know. Carolyn and I do honestly have very different tastes when it comes to books, and she loves this so much. And I was like, you know what? Let's just give it a try. I'm either gonna love it or just feel about it. We'll see what happens. So I did pick this up a few weeks ago. It's now been weeks since I've gotten back to it, unfortunately, but guys, I was loving it. I was loving it. Book number 3, we're not getting rid of this one. No, 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 no. I am 84 pages through, and this is a pretty short little novel. This was shortlisted for the Booker Prize in 2022. And this one is set in a small town in Ireland in the 1980s, I believe, or 70s? 1985. And this one, I didn't actually know it was in the weeks leading up to Christmas, but it is. And we followed this man named Bill, who has a rather large family, a wife, and I don't know how many daughters. Is it like 4 or 5 or 6 daughters? And they live in this small town that is still very much kind of controlled by the Catholic Church. And Bill just kind of works and goes to sleep, gets up, works, and he's like, is there more to life than this? What else is out there? Is this all my life is going to consist of? And so he's just in this really turbulent headspace, and during this headspace he goes to make a delivery to the local convent, and he sees something there that he probably shouldn't have seen, and this kind of changes the path that he's going down and also challenges the attitudes in his small town, with his family, with himself. And guys, it's just so good. It's Claire Keegan's writing more than anything. The blurb on the front of this says every word is the right word in the right place. Yeah, 100%. If you can do that, it's so sparse and homely, but at the same time, it's so perfect. Like, it's literally just perfect to create this atmosphere, to create the story. It's deeply readable in the sense that you, for some reason, get pulled into Bill's life so perfectly. You can see everything. You're right there. I don't know. I really was like, am I gonna enjoy a book like this? But Claire Keegan's writing. Well, I'm 84 pages through. It is not a long book. It's literally 116 pages. So I'm gonna try to finish this today, but I don't want to give away anything. I want you to go and read it for yourself, because that's what I love about this challenge when we do find gems like these, is that this was a book that I was like, am I gonna love it? I don't know. It doesn't sound like something I'm gonna love so much, but reading it, oh my gosh. And if I had known it was in the lead up to Christmas, I probably would have picked this up earlier, but having a good time. 1985, small Irish town, troubles abound. Please pick this up. Really, really good. So I am gonna go finish this, and I also kind of have the goal today of, because it's 2026 now, of getting these bookshelves behind me in order, and honestly doing more of a severe look through, investigation, and unhaul. I've started a little pile there. I wanted to go through the shelves with you again because I'm feeling just ready to have a much better reading year than I did in 2025, and a lot of that is just like, I need to get the stuff I don't want on my shelves off of my shelves. I've seen books on it over the past few weeks that I'm just like, why are you here? You're replaceable. Do you know that? You're replaceable. I'm gonna sit down with my tea. This one is lemon, ginger, cinnamon, turkey tail. It's currently snowing. It's very cold out, and it's a very dull, drab, wintry afternoon. Perfect for finishing this book, and then doing a little bit of a house clean of these guys. Thanks for being back. I hope you're doing well. If anyone else has gotten the great flu of 2025, 2026, how were we doing? We had some moments last week where we were not doing well. I had the simultaneous head cold / stomach flu. Not a good combo. Let's go. I finished small things like these. So good. Easy 5-star. No notes. First 5-star of the year, although kind of there's another book now that I'm thinking of that I've read this year. It's Split Tooth. I've been thinking about it so much that I'm like, it might also be a 5-star. So this means that this is potentially our second 5-star of the year. So happy. And yeah, oh my gosh, just shone a light on something I had never even heard of. I don't want to give it, not like it's giving it away, but I don't want to talk too much about it. It's just very good at what it does, this book. Okay, wow. And I just found the film on Crave, I think. So I think I might try to watch that, maybe even tonight. That's how much I liked it. So this one is going right back on the shelf. Let's do that now. I just made another batch of tea. I think this year is not, this year's not really all there. She's not all there. We're gonna do what must be done. It's still snowing. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful out. Let's go through the shelves. I think this was right here. So that's gonna go back on the shelf. Love that so much. Literally love that so much. So good. And then first let's put something back on the shelf for the The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year, and then let's go. I need to get like a bucket out or a bag or something. This is the book I picked off the shelf, off the pile rather. Oh, here's Kelsfer. Do you want to say hi? No, he loves this. He loves this, what the hell is this called? Pillow. He loves this pillow. I picked the Futurological Congress by Stanislav Lem. This is gonna go up with the other Penguin modern classics. So, oh my god, oh please, I can't see. I can't read. This is the freaking problem. I can't, oh my. Okay, here is our little pile so far. You're just gonna go right there for now. I think you can only see like the reflection of it on my shirt and face, but it is like my favorite blue. My favorite blue. You don't get this blue only in the winter, only when there's snow on the ground. It is just this like otherworldly blue, and it contrasts so beautifully with the yellow lights. Only in winter you get this, and it's just my favorite, and I've tried to make it a priority every night when it hits right around like 5 o'clock to like sit and watch my favorite like sky. I'm actually quite sad that it's getting lighter and lighter each day. I really like the darkness of winter. I kind of I just enjoy the season. I love every aspect of it. I love when it gets dark early. I love the coziness. I love the long night. I love the snow. I love the cold. It's just perfect. We're here in the blue corner, soaking up the blue. I am gonna get my mug because not only do I want to possibly just straight up unhaul some things from the shelf, I would like to add some stuff to the mug, which might be a potential unhaul. They're getting mugged. So I'm actually seeing that the first book here on this shelf gets to go in the jar, and that is The Manual of Detection by Jedediah Barry. I think I pulled this book out in last episode. I realized that this one has to do a lot with dreams and going into dreams and being inside of people's dreams, and I hate that. I'm gonna mark down The Manual of Detection. Man, I smell things like these though. That was really fantastic. I really enjoyed my time, and it was just very like masterful. Very, very, very skilled. Okay, there we go. Manual of Detection. Then we come up here. To be honest, I'm really dreading reading this. This is the second book in the the Neapolitan novels by Elena Ferrante, and I don't know. I didn't really I wasn't thrilled with the first book. I enjoyed my time with it, but it's just not really my kind of like saga that I enjoy reading. So what do you guys think? If you've read the second book, let me know. Then we might have another problem area because we get to Ishiguro. I mean, I liked When We Were Orphans. We have The Unconsoled here. I feel like one that I might not enjoy. You know what? Let's just put on the slip. Let's just straight up write Ishiguro, and then we can try whichever one we're feeling when we inevitably pull that, because I really have not been liking his works. Do I need to keep this? Oh, sorry, buddy. I read this, not last year, the year before. Gave it about a 2-star. Think I might not need to keep this. I think we might be doing it. Also, look at all the lovely snow I'm getting on my balcony. How High We Go in the Dark, I'm really debating if I actually even want to read that at all. Next one that I think, guys, might just be going. I read so many bad romances last year, I just don't know if I can do another one. If you have read Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, please tell me if I'm making a really bad mistake, but I just don't know if I can do this anymore. I don't know if I can do it. I can't take the chance. The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. I have read this, and I gave it a measly 3 stars, and I didn't love it very much. This is a cozy fantasy. There's even a flying cat on the cover. That's how strong I'm being tonight. Okay, there's a flying cat on the cover, and I think it might be time for it to go. I just didn't think that was very good. Thinking about it, am I gonna reread it? No. Seriously, thinking about it, I feel like this book was really irritating to me, and I didn't really feel the magic or the coziness. And then literally the book right next to it, I'm a little bit upset because I think we have to put this book in the jar. Someone commented, I think more than one person commented that this book was not very good, which if it's true, it's gonna break my heart, but I'm gonna put it down anyway. I'm gonna put it in the jar. Oh, I just moved this book out of the way and there was a hidden book back there. Wait, I think we might read that next. Okay, hold on. The book is Floating Hotel by Grace Curtis. You said this was not good. Okay, I wrote it down. The book right behind that, I guess I was trying to save room, but we have so much more room now, is wait, Wicked Deeds on a Winter's Night by Cressley Cole. Now, we've already seen in this episode that I will buy books with winter just because it's winter. And sometimes they're not good, aka Cinder Nanny. And on a winter's night. Okay, if this had said Wicked Deeds on a summer's night, first of all, the alliteration isn't there, and I don't care. You can go do your Wicked Deeds on a summer's night, I don't care. If you're doing them on a winter's night, but this is going in the jar. This is 100% going in the jar. I might even pick it up next. I'm gonna get a raw dose of 2007. All right, then on my middle grade shelf, there is at least one book that can go, and that is actually Anne of Green Gables, because for some reason, like, I knew I had this edition of it, but I also have this copy, which I love even more. I think I forgot that I had that one, but I did order a different edition, like a very specific edition of Anne of Green Gables, because this is one of the books that we're going to be reading for Game of Tomes this year. We're reading the whole series. If you missed that video, I'll link it up above, but I do not need 3 copies of Anne of Green Gables, and this one is definitely my least favorite. I think this is the vintage edition. The second book, I forget if I have a different copy of this coming or not. I think I might not. So this one I think is staying, but I think we're gonna get rid of at least this one. This is an insane, look at this. Oh my gosh. I think one of the last books on my shelf that might go, I don't know, I need to like flip through this and really decide, but I realized I've been staring at this and I'm like, am I actually ever gonna read this? This is Taylor Swift by the book, The Literature Behind the Lyrics. I don't want to be like, you know what, I got the references, but I do get the references, and I don't know if this book is really for me. Yeah, if I really need to own this, I don't think I would ever, I need to decide if I would read this cover to cover, or at all. I think it just goes like album by album. See, okay, blank space. In The Great Gatsby, a key text for this album, F. Scott Fitzgerald explores the cultural divide between new money and old money. Okay, hey, so this is insane. This is insane, look what I've done. Oh, please tell me you're proud of me, please. Okay, so let's recap, because actually, let me get the 2 piles side by side, because I think, like, guys, do you see how large this pile is? Like, I have to tell you about some things that I did when you weren't here, but I think, no. Do you think, hold on, let me get them side by side. Oh, this is everything I just unhauled. This is the book buying ban pile of shame that needs to get back on my shelf. Wait a second. Guys, did we finally do it? This is everything I want to unhaul. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay, so this one does not count, right? We have Silver Elite, which was on this pile and is now gone because I tried to read it, I DNF'd it, I don't want to read it. We don't get to put something back on the shelf for this. However, I have 2 books here that one of them I read the full thing of in 2025 and the other one I tried to. So we have The Buried Giant by Kazuo Ishiguro. I finished this. This ended up on my worst books of the year, and for a while, like for months and months, I kept it on my shelf just because it was Ishiguro and I was like, I don't want to get rid of it. But I disliked it so much. I hate seeing it on my shelf. So it's going. It does not sparkle a joy. No joy is being sparked. So that's gone, which means we get to put, let's just do it. Let's just pull them as we see them. We get to put Darth Plagueis on the shelf. Next one I'm unhauling, I'm so upset about this, is Babel by R.F. Kuang. If you want my full thoughts on this, that's also in my worst books of the year. This was not a worst book of the year. Don't like panic, don't freak out. This was just another DNF that I talked at length about in that video. So Babel is going, hopefully to find someone who really loves it. And that means Hazelthorn. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't really feel the texture on this, but it's so lovely. Hazelthorn is in, and I have heard fantastic things about this author. I've heard fantastic things about Hazelthorn. Really excited to read that. Okay, Cinder Nanny. Did we already put our book on the Cinder Nanny? I am now realizing that we never put a book on the shelf for this because we are unhauling Cinder Nanny. That came off the shelf. So honestly, let's leave this guy up because he's just huge. Let's put Red City on the shelf as well by Mary Lou. Also excited to get to that one. We already put the book. We already put a book back on the shelf for The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year, so he's just going. Then I pulled 2 manhwa off of my shelf that I just frankly don't think I'm really gonna read, don't think I'm gonna like. However, please do leave me feedback if, like, you know, I'm letting gems slip through my hands. Don't let that happen. We have See You in My 19th Life by Lee Hae, and I just don't think I'm really that into it anymore. These were sent to me by the publisher, so I'll pass these on to someone who loves these. Then we have What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, Volume 1 by Gyeon Yoon Jung and Myung-mi Kim. I don't know. I don't really want to know what's wrong with Secretary Kim, to be honest. I'm sure she's okay. She looks great. She'll be okay without me. So that's 2 books unhauled, which means 2 of these go back on the shelf. So let's do There Is a Rio Grande in Heaven, and let's do The Book of Disappearance. Next unhaul is Beauty is a Wound by Ko Ni-awan. I read this for the World Tour Book Club. This was probably the least popular book I read with the book club so far. It means that, ooh, we have the ABC Murders finding a home on my shelf. Great. Guys, are you seeing what's happening? Next up we have Yours Truly. I just really am not a fan of contemporary romance. I found I am incredibly picky when it comes to romance in general and contemporary romance, so I feel like this is a safe bet to just pass this on to someone. So that means that because Venus crossed an alpine violet on the day that I was born, gets to find a spot. We have The Spell Shop. This one I've had hanging around, honestly, for a few years after I read it, but looking at it, this is me being really harsh, guys. This is me being really harsh, being like, okay, just part with it. So that means that Gender Trouble by Judith Butler gets to come along. Okay, we didn't do it. Guys, I don't think we did it, but we got so close. We got so close, and we still have more of the video to go, so, oh, wait! Guys, we have 2 books here, 2 books here, 2 books left to read in the video. We could do it. If we find 2 more duds, the book buying ban pile of banning 2025 will be gone. We'll have done the whole thing. Are you kidding me? No. Okay, so Anne of Green Gables. This is gonna get passed along to someone because I have 2 copies of this. I don't need 3 copies of it. Let's be real. So Dubliners by James Joyce. Welcome to the club. And finally, Taylor Swift by The Book. This is a really stunningly put together book. It's really pretty. Maybe I can find someone who really, really loves this. So then that means that the very fascinating and wonderful and exciting and utterly correct guide to clarity and style of the English language by Benjamin Dreyer gets to go on the shelf. So we have Greek lessons and rewriting left, plus the Star Wars book, but I mean, he's not going on the shelf. He's probably gonna go on the coffee table. So technically we have 3, but we have 2 more books to read in this video. Is it possible? Is it possible? Please someone tell me what a good job I did. This is fantastic. These will be going. You don't even know the huge pile, the huge stack I have after episodes of these, after unhauling books on my own, that I'm gonna have to go to the little free libraries with you. But for right now, let's get this many books back on the shelf. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. I hope we can find the spots. Let's do it. All I'm doing right now is checking with you quickly so that I can draw the next book after we put all of those books, after we reassess the shelves and put all the books in here. So, okay, I'm just gonna pick the one on the very top. We got one. Okay. What does it say? What does that say? Tally Aloha. Toby Alone. I don't think I told you that I put this one in the jar, but let me grab it. It's right behind me. I pulled Toby Alone. This one is a middle grade book, and this one I decided to put on here because I've just not been in the middle grade mood or mindset, like, at all. So I've read almost all the middle grade on my shelf, so I just thought I would read this one, see if I want to keep it. Middle grade I feel like is very hit or miss for me. So this one is about Toby, who I think is very, very small. I don't know if anyone knows the show George Shrinks, but I love George Shrinks. As a kid, he is just 1.5 millimeters tall, and he's the most wanted person in his world. Like, most wanted as in he's a criminal, or... Okay, he lives in the world of the great oak tree. Toby's father has made a groundbreaking discovery tapping into the very heart of the tree's energy, but he knows that to exploit it would be to put their civilization in serious danger, and for refusing to reveal his secret, the family has been exiled, imprisoned, and sentenced to death. Only Toby has managed to escape, but for how long? Is this a middle grade? Have I been duped? Oh, shut up. Okay, first of all, I wanted to see what it looked like under the dust jacket. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? It's just covered in oak leaves. Okay, this is beautiful, but then the dust jacket is... Stop. Stop it. The dust jacket unfurls to become a map of the tree. I think we've got this book in the wrong video. I'm sorry. Okay, well, that's fantastic and so inventive. I've never seen that before. Another thing that's great about this is that I can read it without the dust jacket on and hold the dust jacket in my hands like I'm legitimately reading a full-size map. You've already impressed me. Toby Alone. Okay, you've already impressed me. Let's go see if you can save your family from being persecuted for their clean energy strategy. Literally back to you 1 second later because I opened the book. We stayed up late last night, so I'm looking a little bedraggled, but guys, Toby Alone. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so very good. Doesn't he have beautiful eyes? Grandel, you have beautiful eyes. And it's so good, and it shouldn't have been in the jar, but I'm happy it was in the jar because this episode is turning into books that I'm so glad I picked up because of this challenge. I like when we have episodes where I pull books out of the jar and then I'm like, okay, yeah, they were supposed to be in there. But then on the flip side, like, we've already had a 5-star read this video. Is this another one? I don't know yet, but I love when this happens. I love when we get like the opposite side of that. So it's a beautiful day. I feel like this doesn't look real. Why doesn't the sky look real? Toby Alone. Look at my cute little bookmark that one of you made me. I'm on page 178. Oh my god. I stopped myself reading because I wanted to give you an update, or I figured I really would have finished this whole thing last night. This is so good. The reason I put it in the jar was because is it a middle grade? Am I categorizing it incorrectly? Our main character, well, we switch back and forth from the time he's 7 years old to the time he's 13 years old in the present, and he's on the run. Like, he's a fugitive, like I kind of read to you in the synopsis. It is quite serious, and this book, frankly, is such, like, it is a literal microcosm, right? Because Toby is just millimeters tall, and the tree that he lives in, the great oak tree, is so much like our world. And the themes in here, if I had known the themes that this was going to explore, I forget where's the dust jacket? I've lost the map, but if I had known the themes that it was going to explore, it would not have been in the jar at all. But I'm just so happy that I've picked this up, so I don't mind. Thank you very much to the lovely subscriber who gave me this book. I don't know if you guys like it when I say your names out loud, so thank you. You know who you are. I also thought that I wasn't gonna like a book about this size scale. For some reason, I'm always like, do I want to? I don't know if I want to read about a miniature world. Scratch that. Scratch it all. I love it. He wants to go lay in his bed now in the sun. It's so good. It's so cool. It's actually kind of a feat of the imagination to be able to picture the landscapes that are being described in here, because de Fombelle is like, yes, Toby is millimeters tall, and so it just changes the whole way that you imagine the ecosystem of the oak tree, because this guy is like literally wading through the lichen on the bark, and it's like coming up to his chest, and you're like trying to imagine this. You have whole like raindrops for him are a problem. That's how small he is. A raindrop can cause him grief or push him away. There's lakes in the tree, which are just these tiny little puddles in like the branches, and for him it's a whole lake that would take him an hour to cross. It's beautiful. Obviously predators like mosquitoes or beetles are like a huge threat, and it's just wonderful to enter this world. A little workout for the imagination to reconfigure yourself to this like size scale, and it's so fun, and the story itself is so brilliant. So it's basically rearranged between you learning about his childhood and what has landed him in the position he is now as a kid fugitive, where the whole oak tree is basically hunting him down. There's $1 million on his head, and there's some very powerful people after him. To be honest, the only thing that I'm not enjoying about Toby Alone is the fact that most of the book is just like a chase, is a fugitive situation where he's on the run and he's trying to escape the people who are hunting him. I wish it wasn't like that. Like, I wish the whole book wasn't like that. The reason we find out that he's on the run, I think I was telling you, was I in the synopsis, that Toby's father is like a renowned scientist in the world, and at the beginning of the book they're living up at the top of the tree. So the tree is very much a hierarchy where the people in power, the people who are very well off, live at the top, and as you go down you get people who are poorer, who work more of the manual labor kind of jobs, and you also get this company run by this guy named Joe, and Joe is definitely the main villain of the story. I'm not going to spoil too much, but I really do want to talk in depth about Toby Alone because I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed. So yeah, his father is very much a naturalist. He's really curious about the tree. People who are in the tree don't really know if there's life outside of the tree because the tree is all they know. I cannot stress to you how much you have to imagine how small these people are and how small we are, as a matter of fact. It's just so good. And his father's continually making new discoveries, improving the life of his community, and in general people really like him. However, he has come out with like weird things he said in the past, like, is the tree alive has been his big question that he's been trying to answer. Like, is the tree a living being all on its own? Are we harming the tree with what we're doing? Other questions like, is there a life outside of the tree? People are not very fond of him asking. He makes a discovery about the sap in the tree and crude sap. It's basically a metaphor for oil, and what he does with it, this is the discovery that gets him kicked out, that gets him and his family exiled to the lower branches of the tree. And you kind of follow Toby's childhood living in the lower branches, and now I'm at the part almost halfway through where we know for sure that Toby and his family did go back up to the summit at some point, but we also know that shortly afterwards they were basically thrown in jail, maybe condemned to death, and Toby got away. So I don't know what happened or why they went back up there, but because of the discovery that Toby's father made about sap or oil and its uses and its potential exploitation, he and his family were condemned to exile. Let me just read you a couple passages that I dog here because really great. I don't know if I told you this, but this book is illustrated. There's illustrations every once in a while, so amazing. Toby's father subscribed to the crazy idea that the tree was growing. It was an extremely controversial notion and the professor's favorite study. All the scientists argued about it. Does the tree change? Is it eternal? Where did it come from? Will the world end? And most important above all, is there life beyond the tree? These questions prompted a great debate. His book on origins hadn't been well received. In it, he told the story of the tree as if it were a living being. He said that leaves were not independent plants, but the outmost tips of a mighty life force. If the tree was alive in the same way that a moss forest is alive, then it was terribly vulnerable. They should look after this living organism, which embraced them with open arms. The villain of the story I really enjoy because it's getting like really, I forget when this came out, but it's getting really like, we're just making analogies for things that are to the T for what is happening right now. Like I said, it's not really the people in power of the grand council of the tree. It's this like up and coming entrepreneur named Joe who has come from the lower branches, and he is promising people, he's promising to make the tree great again. Okay, that's what he's doing. So among other things, he has like a construction company. I love the little details in here, by the way. So a detail like that, where he has a construction company, the construction workers are weevils, and they're basically like raised and reared and taken care of by, again, manual laborers who have to make sure that the weevils don't take too much wood out, because weevils can, like, I think it said carve out up to 3 times their body weight. Our construction company is promising a lot of new things, a lot of new developments. There's a lot of new developments. There's a lot about housing, actually, in Toby alone. Joe, Mitch, had then proposed his popular plan for friendly neighborhoods to the neighborhood committees. So instead of like the grand council of the tree, this Joe guy has now gone around creating the friendly neighborhood watch. At the start of each branch, he offered to dig huge welcome housing projects for free. As it turned out, these were just a series of holes, like worm-eaten wood, where all the people on the housing list were dumped. That way, life in the traditional neighborhoods wasn't spoiled. The neighborhood committees would collect half of the rent, the other half was payable to the builder's company, Joe Mitch. So I'm having a fantastic time with this, like legitimately very impressed by what is being discussed, by how it's being discussed, and definitely my favorite part of the book is just learning about the nooks and crannies of the tree and like tree life. I would have loved to have maybe started the book with getting settled in the tree as opposed to starting the book with Toby just like on the run in dire danger. And yeah, I would have liked to have started a little bit more quietly and like getting absorbed into the life and nature and environment of the tree, because I think those sections I just love, like getting to know the day-to-day, what they're eating. There's like a leaf mill, the different meals that someone so small who lives on a tree eats. It's just beautiful. It's like those little like fairy gardens around everyone's house, and the illustrations for like their little houses are so cute. This is a highly recommend. I love the detail, the thought, the imagination, and also of course the real lifeness that has been inserted into here. And I'm just still really obsessed with the naked hardcover. So yeah, 286 pages through. Toby alone is yeah, what is it? History doesn't repeat itself, it just rhymes with itself. Don't remember who said that. Very heartbreaking. Okay, so I'm at the point in the story now where we find out why this kind of bigger politically upsetting thing has happened to Toby's family and why they're being hunted, why he's on the run, blah blah blah. So I won't spoil any of that, but it's getting crazy. Like, it's just, oh hi Xiao. Someone might be saying hi. It's okay for Shy. Yeah. Hello. Okay, on the counter. Calcifer. Hey, are you supposed to be up there? Wait. You see that look? I was hoping that Toby alone was gonna, look at how beautiful, I'm sorry, I'm drooling over this. I was hoping that Toby alone was gonna be kind of, it is fun, right? It is a fun read. I'm loving learning everything about the tree, but it is heavily, it's just reality. Like, it's just reality, except we're in an oak tree. We're all in an oak tree and you can't escape what's happening, and yeah. So in this novel, we have everyone living in the oak tree, but then we've kind of heard whispers in the first half of the book that there are these people who are just called the grass people in the novel, and everyone's a little bit, well, not really. The people in the lower branches, when Toby's growing up with his family, they're just like a bit curious and wary of the grass people just because they don't know them. Toby's never really seen a grass person, like, who lives, I guess, on the ground. I'm imagining they live on the ground in the grass below the tree, although that hasn't really been confirmed yet. But Toby already knows when he's like 7 to just be a little bit scared of the grass people. However, in the present timeline, it's becoming a huge thing that Joe, the villain, is gathering everyone around in solidarity away from the grass people. Toby's friend, Toby's best friend in this book, who's this girl named, is it Alicia? They live down below on the other side of the border. So I haven't really heard, or we haven't really been acquainted with too much of what the border is in the tree, but after his brief and terrifying return to the treetop, Toby had discovered how important the grass people were. He had heard very little about them when he was small, but now everybody talked about the grass people. Neighborhood committees were now sending out alarmist messages through public criers. People feared an invasion, but there was no actual mention of the grass people. Instead, they just talked about the threat in a mysterious sort of way. Later on in the book, like a little bit later, we learned that Joe actually started his career as a border patrol agent, literally, and that's how he kind of got his start, and then now he's risen all the way up to basically the person in charge, and the person at the top now, like really heavily fear-mongering. Also, Joe Mitch is like low-key army now. Like, he just has kind of all of these mercenary figures working for him. The illustrative choice for these is very on the nose. I mean, look at them. I don't know how well you can see. Yeah, and on their arms they have bands with the initials JM for Joe Mitch. Yeah, 286 pages through. It's definitely just getting darker and darker. Like, this is not a fun, lighthearted read at all. I'm not saying it should be. Like, it's doing what it's doing magnificently. It's very powerful. It's very well done. And I'm gonna finish it probably this afternoon. I think I have 100 pages left. On book 4, I just made myself a little bowl of grapes. Now I'm in the habit of, like, when I pick something up or when I see something, when I see my house plants, I'm like, wow, imagining it in, like, the eyes of Toby, who's so small, and what these would be like for him and the people who live in the tree. I don't know, the book has created some really fun environments. I imagine we're going to be introduced to the grass people very soon, and in the present timeline, Joe Mitch has basically just created so much uproar and fright and fear around the grass people. Like, kind of everything is centered around him, making people believe that they're going to be invaded by the people from below the border. I didn't know that this was a series. I finished it, loved it, gave it 4 stars. I think there were a few elements missing that I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of, which I'll talk about in a second, but man, it definitely ends on a cliffhanger. It makes you want to read more. It makes you want to pick up the second one. I think the second one is called, is it Through Alicia's Eyes or Alicia's Eyes? I think it's the second one. So it's more through the perspective of the girl who Toby is in love with and his childhood friend Alicia. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything more about the plot of this now or anything like that, but needless to say, please pick it up. The elements, though, that I was missing were just, like, more calm, quiet moments where, first of all, the plot would slow down a little bit, the pacing would slow down, and just moments of being able to appreciate Toby's environment, appreciate the tree, because the book is so, like, you know, ecologically minded and has such a big heart, and Toby and Toby's father and Alicia, they really want to protect the tree, and we see so much through Joe Mitch, what he's doing. Of course, he just wants to drill holes. Like, this guy is such a fascinating villain because his motto is that, like, he just wants to create a void. I really was just missing slower moments where we could see a little bit more of the tree, because, like, me as a reader, obviously I care about the tree. Like, before I came to the book, like, I obviously cared very much about the oak tree, love the oak trees, protect the oak trees. But in the novel, we spend probably 75% of the time on the bad stuff that's happening and the stuff that's just really heavy-hearted, and I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of, like, joy and celebration in the tree, especially in the first half of the novel, because I think, like, comparing it to something like The Shire, like, Tolkien opens with The Shire and we just fall in love with it and we want to protect it implicitly and we love it and we get such a good sense of it, and we also feel hopeful because we know that there are hobbits there who also feel the same way as we do and who love their home and who want to protect it. And with Toby alone, I feel like I was missing a little bit of that, especially at the start, and then at the end, it just gets so dark. Like, it actually gets really, really dark. It's very affecting, makes you very upset, and I think I just wanted little splashes of, like, light and life, and also just, like, for my own personal fun and comfort and that slice of life that I really like, because I wanted to know more about, like, the tree and their daily routines and, like, what are we eating. I really did fall in love with the miniature world in here that I didn't think I wanted, and now I find myself, did I already say this? Find myself, like, looking at the plants in my home and thinking how Toby would make them a house, or, like, imagining myself as a very small creature and where I would sleep and what I would do. Finish it, and it's gonna go back on my shelf as a treasured guest. I really loved it. I would highly, highly recommend. So glad I read it. Thank you to the lovely viewer who sent me this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, because I loved it. Pleasantly surprised. This video has just been such a fun journey so far, and we have one more book to go, so I don't get to put anything back on the shelf except to return Toby alone to a far more elevated fawn impress place, probably 4.25. The sun is setting, but I'm gonna grab the jar and we're gonna pick the last read for this video. Jar. A tingle of foreboding has passed through me. As with my Toby alone method, I'm just gonna pick the first one off the top because that worked out really well for me. Okay. Easy peasy. What does that say? What does it say, my friends? The Girdle Hulk. Oh, this is funny. That's a funny joke. Last book of the video, you hit me with The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan. What did I do? We have it. This is The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan. This is book 2 in the Wheel of Time. I read The Eye of the World, which is oh my god. What was that? I feel like that was a sign from my shelves. The shelves are coming alive to tell me, don't do it. I read The Eye of the World, the first Wheel of Time book, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. And I bought the second one thrifted for $2, and I never picked it up because, frankly, I didn't want to. I think I thought when I picked this up at the thrift store I would one day get to it. Having seen other people I've been following on BookTube for years go through the arduous journey of reading or trying to read the entire series, which, if you don't know, I think there's like 16 books, and they are all that long in the series. Most of them have been like, don't do it. It's not something you need to do in your life, much like climbing Mount Everest. That is something, why would I ever want to do that? Oh, I don't know about this one. I do want to say, I do remember everything. Not everything. I have a fine enough idea of what happened in The Eye of the World that I feel confident starting The Great Hunt. I also, frankly, am really warming up to the wonderful mass market paperbacks from the 90s. I kind of think they're like fun now, probably just because like the world is continually going to just bad places with like AI and technology, that now anything from an earlier era, however not that, early it may be, feels fun and nice and novel. So I also love that it comes with a nice colored map. That's fun. And my copy of The Great Hunt was a Christmas gift to, who knows? It says, Merry Early Christmas, 1999, love Mom and Dad. So I just noticed this guy on the back in the cover. Do you see him? That is so funny to me. I don't really know how to describe this. Can anyone? I don't know. It just says, the wheel of time turns and ages come and go. What was, what will be, and what is may yet fall under the shadow. So we do start in quite a small village called the Two Rivers, I think. We have one of the main characters named Rand. He discovers maybe there's something going on with him, maybe there's a prophecy. There's this being that is supposed to come into being in the world known as the Dragon Reborn, who I think is supposed to restore order or balance to like the light and dark in the world. To be honest, when I read The Eye of the World, I was like honestly a little bit put off because of how much I love Lord of the Rings, and for me it was just like a little bit too similar. I'll do a little bit, but I'm probably ultimately gonna quit. I do want to warn you there in case I upset like diehard Wheel of Time fans. I'm gonna be a quitter, okay? Sometimes you have to be a quitter. We're gonna give this a try, nevertheless. So wish me luck. I guess this is what we have on the docket tonight. This is not how I thought my night was gonna go. Okay, y'all. It's now 10 p.m. and I'm in bed with The Great Hunt, which is not a good place to be reading this book because I am feeling like I'm gonna fall asleep. I'm gonna be honest, I got about 40 pages through this today, and I have some thoughts. So, number one thought while I was reading it is like, I'm actually pretty torn about whether I want to read this or not, and so I'm talking about it. Picking up a book like The Great Hunt, which, to be honest, when I was making my 2026 TBR, I'm so tired when I close my eyes. When I was making my 26 books I want to read in 2026, I was like, there's not enough fantasy on there, and I want there to be more fantasy. I am very much craving a book this long, like something I can really sink my teeth into. I really do like longer, chunky books. So like reading The Great Hunt right now, starting it, I was like, I'm actually really in the mood for something like this. On the other hand, I was like, I'm in the mood for something like this, but I don't know if I want it to be The Great Hunt because, like I said, I'm just not particularly thrilled with the storyline or the plot as of right now, at least. And The whole thing that I keep thinking in my head every time, like every other page, I'm like, Emma, do you want to commit yourself to a 16 book series? And I know I don't have to read. Just because I'm reading book 2 doesn't mean I don't love it. Like, I don't love it. I do appreciate that this book seems like one I'd be more interested in than The Eye of the World, because The Eye of the World is very much, you know, like the setup and, oh, my collarbone. Man, that book is heavy. Be careful, guys. I'm really liking something just like slow and taking a long time, and something that feels rewarding, something that does feel like climbing Everest. Like, I am in the mood for that. I am in the mood to spend quite a long time with the book and just have so many details to soak up. Like, I think that's what I really love about longer fantasy and longer series like this, is that you get to spend so much time in the world and get so immersed. And all the stuff I was missing from Toby alone, that's really what I'm looking for. Really, this is telling me that, yeah, I do want to read something like this, but not this. I might read a few more pages, but I think we're gonna sleep on it. Could use this as a pillow tonight. Look at. This is like, that's how like big it is. It's like, that actually feels quite comfortable. I'll see you guys in the morning with the verdict on The Great Hunt. Good morning. I wanted to give you the final update on the last book that we've been reading, and also just go over what incredible progress we've made here, because this is insane. So I do think ultimately, like you could probably guess, I don't want to read The Great Hunt. I think that I don't want to read The Great Hunt. I think I don't. This has shown me that this like is what I want to read. I just don't want to read The Great Hunt because I didn't fall in love with The Eye of the World. What I've heard from other people whose tastes really align with me reading the whole series is that like I probably wouldn't like it either. So book 5 from this episode. However, I still do have The Eye of the World on my shelf, and I don't know if I want to get rid of just The Great Hunt or both. I don't know why I feel like I want to keep it. And then if I ever feel like I want to revisit the series in the future, if that day ever comes, I will have at least the first book on my shelf. I think I want to keep the first book and only get rid of the second one. That is the final unhaul of this video. We do get to put one more book on the shelf. So yeah, that doesn't mean that we did not decimate the whole entire pile, but we only have 2 books left on the pile from 13. We went from 13, or no, 14, I guess, because we added 1 to the pile to start. So we went from 14 to 2 in this video. Let's just take a second to celebrate that victory. Okay, because, oh my God, is that an earthquake? Okay, so here's this, here's the stack that we got through in this episode, plus all the ones behind me, but this is what we tried to read. So first up, we read all of The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ali Carter. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed my time with this. I gave this a 3-star. It's just not something I would ever probably read again, because it's kind of one of those mysteries that, like, you know the ending, you know what's going on, and this is just something I'd probably pass on to someone else. We had 3 gifts. We had 3 gifted and 2 thrifted. The next one that was a DNF was Cinder Nanny by Sariah Wilson. I just did not think this was very good at all, sadly, so my hotel snow skiing dreams came to naught in this one. DNF unhaul. Then we have the first book that we're keeping in this video, which is Small Things Like These by Keegan. Thank you once again to Carolyn for giving me this. I loved it. This was a 5-star. We found a 5-star in this video. This is probably the one that I would most highly recommend to you. And then we had another gift from a beautiful, lovely subscriber. Thank you so much. We had Toby Alone. This was fantastic. I gave this a 4.25, 4.3. Really loved it, really enamored with it. And yeah, I think I would definitely read the second book in the series. I need to find out what happens to them. And I love this so much. This was such a pleasant, wonderful surprise, another gem that we found. And then finally, the last book that I bought myself thrifted was The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan, book 2 in a series. And I think I feel good just DNFing the series, so that is a ton of progress. And I just saved myself from reading potentially 16 700-page books, which isn't, it's not bad work for a day. If you can see this pile, we clearly unhauled more than just 3 books. So in the end, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. When's the number 13 always come back? We got rid of the TBR pile that we had. We got rid of the book buying ban pile that we had, like exactly. Not bad, not bad. Let me hear it. Let me hear it. The most productive episode that we've done, and My goodness. I'm gonna go ride this high for a while now. So until the next one, that's when I will see you.